Well, good morning. The time now is 8:45 AM and we are at the start of another road trip again, but this time for a little experiment for which I am pretty excited about. So the idea of driving an EV from Singapore to KL is no longer new anymore. And while certain apps in Singapore already do allow you to access chargers in Malaysia, these have admittedly been quite limited in their reach so far. Now, what is promising to be a real game changer is the fact that two of Singapore and Malaysia's arguably biggest charging providers, JomCharge as well as SP Group respectively, have recently teamed up to come up with a cross-border seamless charging network. And today we are going to put that to the test exactly. I say that this promises to be a game changer because I think most Singaporeans already have the SP app on their phones, right, to use for utilities, other kinds of services. This new function right now promises to make life really a lot easier because it means that you can drive to Malaysia using just the same app that you have in Singapore. Payment is seamless, finding chargers is seamless. At least that's the promise. So today we're going to put that promise to the test and yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's just quickly go through a rundown of what's going to happen today. So we are really aiming for the quickest, most seamless, fastest way up from Singapore to KL. We have decided that we're going to do a quick charging stop in JB before we head up. And on the SP Group app, I'm not sure if you can see, we're going to go to Sunway Hotel Big Box over here. Do a quick stop there and then have a bit of lunch. We were hoping to be in JB around 10:30. Now it's already 10 AM, so we're running a bit late. But it's okay, we'll make up for time there. I think one thing I have to note is the fact that the IM5 that we're driving today is the luxury trim, which is the Cat A model that only has about 400 km of range, which is not bad considering that your drive from Singapore to KL is about 400 km. We definitely need to do a charging stop in between, so very curious to see how that will pan out later on. We arrived at Sunway Hotel and actually found out the charger empty, but only to realize that we had to pay a fee for valet parking. And as the cheaper Singaporeans we are, we don't think that it's worth it to pay an extra 45 ringgit just to charge the car here. Hence, we are going to move on. There's another charger available at, what's it called? Eco Galleria. Map says that there's a DC charger available there as well. We heard the food is also better over there, so we're going to drive over right now. Time check, 11:52 AM, so I must say it took us a bit of a while to get here. When we opened the SP Group app just now, it only directed us to Eco Galleria, but because we didn't have a picture of where the chargers were, so it took us a while. We were kind of going in circles, and it wasn't until we realized that we could open the JomCharge app, which I also downloaded on my phone. And from there we found a picture, we found the floor, finally found the chargers over here. Unfortunately, when we arrived, we realized that both the DC chargers were in use, so we're only left with this AC charger over here right now. But I think that should give us still a good amount of charge to get back onto the road. We have a quick lunch, about 40 minutes, and then hopefully the car will give us enough juice back then, and then we can head on the road, on the way up to KL again. Moment of truth, see if we can use the SP Group app to just pay like that. Oh, okay, well, that's quite seamless. It's telling us already converted to SGD, 0.328 cents per kilowatt hour. Seems quite promising so far. Activating. Okay, I think this is working. And we are hooked up. Woo! Okay, great. Zero hiccups whatsoever. Literally just plugged in, scanned the QR code, payment went through, no problem. And already you can show me, the app is already showing me that the car is charging and letting me know how much energy is being stored in the battery as time passes. So impressive so far. I'm impressed. We just finished lunch. It was about 1 hour. We managed to put back about 19 kilowatt hours worth of capacity back into the battery. And the car is surprisingly at 99% now, almost full, which is the ideal condition. We have about 431 kilometers worth of range now. Going to do another stop midway between here and KL. And we're going to see if the chargers over there work as well. I want to point out that with the IM5 actually we could have made it all the way from JB to KL on a single charge, no problem with our driving patterns. However, we do understand that there are some EV drivers in Singapore who drive EVs with ranges in the 300-ish km kind of ballpark. And if so, then you can't make the full drive from JB to KL on one charge. As of now, the only midpoint charger between KL and JB. In the future, we hope that there'll be more, of course, on SPM, but as of now, this is the only one. And so yeah, we're gonna give the car another quick DC charge on the way up and then hit the road back up to KL again. we finally managed to get the charger here working, and thankfully it's working fine now. The car is accepting a peak charging speed of 43 kilowatts, and it's worth highlighting again that this is sort of your mandatory pit stop if you're driving a shorter range EV from JB to KL. Otherwise, you can shoot straight up, and once you're done here, we're gonna go all the way up to KL. Quick charge in Malacca done after half an hour. We arrived here with about 50% or about 220 kilometers of range left. Now we've gotten it up to 80%, about 348 km, which is more than plenty for our drive up to KL. Let's go. Night has fallen, we are finally in KL, and as you can see behind me, we're actually at Pullman Hotel right now, which is the closest charger we've managed to find to our hotel. And the great part is that the DC charger is available, so the IM5 is getting hooked up right now, getting its fast charge ready for us to hit the road again. Now we've kind of summarized today's reflections into the good and the bad that we've experienced, and I think the good part definitely is the fact that we've managed to keep all our main functions within the SP app, and that includes locating the approximate location of our chargers as well as payment, so everything within SGD. As for the hiccups, however, I think the first thing to note, of course, is that Malacca really represents a big detour right now if you're driving shorter range EV. The second is that my charging app actually hung on my phone. I guess these are the sorts of like user experience issues that still linger. And the final thing I think which is important is the fact that on the SP Group app, there is no differentiation between ChargeMo as well as CCS Type 2 chargers. Whereas in Malaysia, I think because the EVs here are more varied, so ChargeMo chargers are actually used by a number of EVs here. They're not really prevalent in Singapore, so I think that's something that we just have to take note of if you're charging in Malaysia. That was our drive for today. There's more to come tomorrow still, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.
What a big boot. What a big booty.
Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the trip, which I think is actually going to be more exciting than what we experienced yesterday. Because two things. Number one, we are going to do more of a speed run today. I think yesterday was really us trying to understand how the cautious EV driver would have to drive from Singapore to KL with just one app. But today we're going to put this car's max range to the test, really do a straight shoot down from KL to JB, and I am excited to see how that pans out. Number two, we sent out a couple of messages last night and we realized that a special guest is in KL with us right now, and we've decided why not go and find him, have some breakfast, also check out a KL mall at the same time. Kill 3 birds with 1 stone, so let's go. I think the lesson we've always learned in KL is that never underestimate KL traffic, because that's what we did and we suffered. We're running a bit late right now. It also took us a bit of time to find the chargers here, but thankfully we are finally in Mid-Valley at Sgcarmart Hotel, as you can see. All the chargers here are available, so that's a great thing. We decided to go for the AC charger because we want to have a more relaxed and leisurely lunch. And I think this point of the trip really represents a good time for us to showcase what destination charging is, because with your petrol car, you just pump it whenever it's low, right? Or running out of fuel. But with an electric car, you just want to plug it in and charge it whenever you have the chance. And that's exactly what we're going to do here at Mid-Valley. Alright, 2 extra points that I want to add on. Number one is the fact that actually I think this is one of the best charging stations we've visited so far, in the sense that your chargers here are really fast. These are both 120 kilowatt DC chargers, and then those are 40 kilowatt AC chargers, so those are really fast chargers. And both of these are also CCS Type 2 chargers, which are perfect for the cars that we drive in Singapore. Secondly, I think because this location is quite popular, this is one of the first locations in which we've encountered the sticker of idle fees. So you will be given a 15 minutes complimentary grace period once the car is finished charging. After that, there is a 1 ringgit per minute idle fee that will be applied. I think again reflective of the maturing landscape of EVs in Malaysia. So I'm getting really hungry. I think it's time for us to get breakfast. So let's go get breakfast. Alright, so we are in breakfast right now, and as mentioned, we have a special guest that is joining us right now for breakfast in KL. I'll let him introduce himself to the camera.
Yes. Hello everyone. So my name is Dean Shah. So I'm the Managing Director for SP Mobility. So SP Mobility is a part of SP Group, which is obviously Singapore's national utility. So in addition to that, at SP we have charging network in Singapore, Opportunity Mobility is the entity that sees part of it. So I'm running that business.
I think that's a good time for us to kind of transition into the first question, which is, I guess, out of personal curiosity as well, how did this collaboration with JomCharge come about?
So it literally came about over a cup of coffee. The chance meeting at actually the Singapore car show, motor show. I think it was probably 2023. Ideas just got exchanged, and then we just kicked off this project. Okay, so yes, it's been a number of years.
This has been a number of years.
Yes, so I think for Singapore side, we recently just launched it at the end of October, which is why you guys are here.
Yeah, very experiencing it fresh, like out of the oven.
Yeah, so we'll probably have to ask you how is it, So then, so I think for us, we started pretty recently, but for actually John, it started, I think, earlier in the year, or middle of the year. So for Malaysians who drive down to Singapore, you can use the John map. There's SP points in Singapore. So for us, it took a bit longer to get it up on our site, but we're happy to finally made it. And I think it's actually different because you strip out all the residential charging, which we're active in Singapore. If you take out the residential part of it, then it's really the destination charging points.
In KL.
In just Malaysia, right? I mean the points that you guys did yesterday in JB, in Malacca, here. It's really having those points and having that convenience for Singaporeans when they drive home. And let's face it, Singaporeans love Malaysia for obvious reasons. So I think having the accessibility, having that convenience for Singaporeans to just use the one app. We have 76 locations of Jom on our app. Not 76 charging points, but 76 locations. It's actually over 200 charging points. Okay. And so we're looking to build that in next phases. So maybe the next trip, we can think about, Maddie, you want to drive all the way to Phuket Island?
Oh, okay, wow. Yeah, aiming even higher.
Maybe even higher, but maybe let's sort out Thailand first. But we reach the border town and let's see whether we can do that.
I guess to the Singaporean who says, wow, JomCharge, Malaysian JomCharge users can really access so many SP chargers in Singapore. How come Singaporeans cannot access the same level back in Malaysia? What would you say to them?
I would say I will give the guy a call. I'll give Yuan Hao a call, right? And ask him. But to be honest, I think the teams are looking at that. But I think it was to meet the timeline.
Okay, yeah, October 2025.
I think JomCharge in Malaysia, they also have quite a unique setup in the sense that they are actively operating for other CTOs.
Oh.
Yes. So
from Singapore.
Yes, a bit. I mean, we also have it as well, but ours is a bit smaller scale. But for John, they do that. So that's why for their app, I think in addition to their 1,200 charging points, they also do have other operators which they are operating for. So I think there's a bit of ease of convenience for Malaysian consumers. And we don't have to go to so many apps, you can really just sort of John on app. So which is why it's done in phases. And so I was happy to announce, John has been quite active. That they've recently won some 2 concessions actually from the KL Council and the Padang Jaya Council to do street side charging. So you see a couple more DC chargers which will be available as well. So Singaporeans driving up to KL, and there will be more than the charging points that you see on the ground here. I mean, in addition to the additional charging points that we want to onboard, but organically they're also building their network to be even more accessible at home. Yes, your feedback has been noted. I've given that back. So
thank you for listening to us.
Let's see. Then this is important as well because we're doing this really just to provide that convenience and accessibility similar to us because it is an actual use case.
Correct. For us to travel as we normally would with an ICE car.
Right.
Right on foot. Yeah,
exactly.
That was a really great breakfast just now. We had a good chat with Dean, understanding how the whole partnership came about and what we can expect in the future. Now, as mentioned earlier, we're going to try shooting straight back all the way from KL to JB. No charging stops in between, and we are quite confident that the IM5 can do it because the car is also fully charged. Very happy that we made the call to take an AC charger over a DC charger just now. And I can't wait to see how the rest of the day pans out. Time check is currently 5:20 p.m. and we've successfully made it to JB after about 4-ish hours on the road, inclusive of 2 rest stops, which is the amount of time I think it would take from KL to JB anyway with an ICE car, so that's a great thing. Two quick takeaways I want to mention right now. Number one, yes indeed, we managed to get the IM5 from KL's Mid-Valley City all the way to Top End Shopping Centre in JB with just one charge, and we arrived with about 28% of battery as well as 115 km of range, which meant that we weren't kind of circling around with range anxiety when we arrived, so that's a great thing. Number two, we were aiming for the 200 kilowatt DC charger when we arrived at Top End Shopping Centre, and we've actually managed to grab it. With this, we've also managed to achieve the fastest charging speed on the entire trip with the IM5 at 117 kilowatts, so that really allows us to see the car's fast charging capabilities. And come back to the original question which we posed at the start yesterday in Hougang, which is how seamless is the entire experience, and can you do the entire charging trip in Singapore and Malaysia with just the SPF? And the answer to both is yes. So we really didn't rely on any other app to do the approximate location of charging as well as payment. Everything was done within the SPF, and I think for us that's a very, very interesting takeaway, that really the entire experience can be so in-house and seamless with just the SPF right now. And as we heard from Dean, things are looking to be even more promising in the future because this entire charging network will continue to increase and include more JomCharge chargers in Malaysia. Of course, there are a few caveats that we want to remind you of from our trip. Regarding the exact location of chargers, I think we still have to pop into the JomCharge app every now and then to see, oh, where exactly are the chargers placed? Look at the photos to get an understanding of the environmental surroundings. Number two is that the SPF still doesn't differentiate between ChargeMO as well as CCS Type 2 chargers. That's already feedback that we've given, and hopefully this is a change that will be implemented in the future. And finally, there are idle fees at some locations which are not reflected yet on the SPF. But I think it's just, again, a reflection of the changing and maturing EV landscape in Malaysia. Final detail we want to note, this is the amount of money we spent charging across the past 2 days over here, and the distance we've covered from Singapore all the way to Top End Shopping Centre over here. And with that, that brings our charging road trip this time to a close. I think it was a really eye-opening experience and still super cool to see that the SPF really is this one-stop app that you can use for all your charging needs in Singapore and Malaysia. We want to thank Eurocars Leasing once more for lending us this wonderful IM5 to drive on the trip. We also want to thank Dean for taking time out of his morning to have breakfast with us. And finally, we want to thank you, the viewer, for following us along on this charging road trip. What are your thoughts on charging an EV in Singapore and Malaysia? Let us know in the comments. And if you've liked this video, don't forget to hit the like, share and subscribe buttons, and follow us on TikTok at Sgcarmart for more of the fun stuff. We'll catch you back in Singapore. Bye!